Hey guys, welcome back. So guys, in this video we are continuing our PHP OOPS tutorials, and now guys, in this video part 3, which we are going to do about the login system in PHP using object oriented programming guys. So now let's get started. So let's go to our login page and create a simple login form and start with the code. So now let's click on this login. Okay, so let's copy this URL and create a code guys. So let me close all the files. Done. So let's create a login.php and let's call the register code as same thing. Okay, so we are just going to edit from this form itself because we need this email and password only for the login purpose. So let's get back. Let's go to register.php, copy the full code. If you don't know how to create this register, please watch out the previous video so you can find that link given in the description guys. So let's paste here, and we are going to remove the first name and last name and that confirm password and make this submit to login button and change the button name to login button. All done. So now let's change the login register to login form, and let's go top. Here you go on config app.php and your authentication code.php. Okay, so let's move to login. Perfect. So login form, email and password, login button. Yep guys, and now when you click on this login button, you go to form action using post method. So we are going to codes authentication.code.php. Okay, so in this form we are going to write the code of this login form. So let's go to codes authentication code.php. So this was the code for register page. Let's ignore this. Let's begin with if condition over here and start to check with the isSet function if it is clicked with the post method, the button name login button. If it is clicked, you are going to check that. So when you click this, you are going to get the email and password. So let's get this. $email is equal to your $_post method of email guys. Okay, so for the password also, let's copy and paste. Here you check with the password. So now guys, before getting your data, we have to sanitize this, right? So for the validation, like if someone tries to inject your SQL, so to prevent that, we have created a validate input function. Okay, so over here your DB connection and then your input. So let's get here. Same way you're going to copy. So let's copy this and paste here. Control X and paste. Let's remove this. So now guys, from where is this coming? You can go to your, let's move to login page. As you can see that we have included config app.php and your authentication. So let's move to app.php file. So you have to watch out from the part 1 so you can understand this concept. So let's go over here, and you can see we have created a validate input where to escape all the injections, SQL injection. So let's call this validate input field in your authentication code. Okay, all done. So it's clear, and this DB connection is your object oriented database connection. So let's get back to your app.php where you have included the database connection. Okay, so here is a database connection, and that database is called in your object as DB. So this object DB, inside that we are calling the connection. Okay, so all set, and now guys, let's begin with the code. So let's create an object of auth is equal to new login controller. Done. And so let's create a controller, guys, for this. So let's copy and paste this login controller. Let's go to controller folder and create a login controller.php. So where is the controller? Here. And let's create a login controller.php and start with the code. So let's begin. Let's create the class with the name login controller, open and close bracket, where you are going to call your database connection first. So you can call the construct method. So public function where underscore underscore construct and your database connection. So let's call db is equal to new database connection. And then guys, you're going to call the object in your $this of connection is equal to your object of conn. Done. And now you can start with the user checking. So let's create a function, public function where user login function. So inside this function, we are going to pass $email, email comma $password, password. Done. And yep, let's write the query over here. So you can tell check login query is equal to select star from the user table. So let's tell users, give a condition where email is equal to inside single quote tell $email. Okay, so this $email you are getting over here. And for the password, let's give AND operator and check for the password is equal to inside single quotes. Let's type $password. Done. And your limit will be 1. Done, guys. And now over here you are going to execute this query. So before that, we have to create a result of this. So result is equal to your connection. So let's take this connection and your MySQLi query function. So you're not going to include MySQLi, only just query function you're going to include. Okay, and let's send this query inside this query. Done. And now you're going to check if a record comes over here. We have to set something else also. So like, let's check with the if condition. Let's check this if any record exists or not inside this with the help of num rows. Okay, is greater than 0 if at least one record comes, means you are going to get the data. So let's store that in a variable called data and $result of your fetch associate function. Done. So now you can just you have to get all the data and store into a session, so we can manage all the front end sides to show the user is logged in or not. Okay, so guys, for that let's create a separate function for that. So let's create this user authentication function, and inside this user authentication we will check with the session, right? So let's pass this data inside this user authentication. And now let's get outside. Let me just return true, and if it's not, means you can just tell else return false. All set. So let's create a public function, not public, let's keep it private because we want to use inside only. So private function, that is your user authentication function. Okay, so this user authentication, and over here guys you will be starting with your session data. So let's create the session, open and close, where first will be your authenticated. If obviously we are going to check if the user exists only, then only you are going to check it is authenticated. So let's create a variable in the session as authenticated. Okay, authenticated is equal to true. So if it is true, that means you are logged in. And now let's take his role. If you have a role, you can just get the role also. Okay, so right now we don't have a role over here, so we will just comment and keep, but in next further videos we will check it out. So for that guys, you are getting the data from here, okay, which you have passed over here, right? So that data you will get it. So this data you are passing in this function, and that data you will get from here. So dollar data of your role underscore as, if you have it. Okay, so we don't have right now, as you can see in our database, we don't have that role as. So if we have, we will keep it. So right now we are going to comment that. Now guys, we want the user details, so you can mention that authenticated user also. So let's create a session variable with the authenticated user. Okay, so let's create a array inside this. So we will use an array. Yep. So first will be user ID. If you required, you can store that $data of your ID. So this ID is nothing but your input field name. Okay, this ID, F name, L name, email. So in this format, let's give comma, copy and paste. Let's tell user F name, and here F name, copy and paste. Let's take L name and paste that L name, user email, and paste here email. That's it. So now let's get back to our authentication code.php and start over here at the login code. So now guys, let's tell dollar check login is equal to dollar auth, that is your object of login controller, where you are going to check that user login function. Okay, so this user login function is nothing but your function created in your login controller. So let's copy this and you have to paste here. So inside this, you're going to pass the dollar email and dollar password. Done. So if this is success, like if it is true, you are going to check and redirect to, you can give the message logged in successfully and go back to, let's give here else. You can show the message as invalid email or password, invalid email ID or password. Okay, on login.php. So save guys, and now let's check it. So yep, when you redirect to index or login page, you have to show the message, right? So let's go to login. First you have a message, so make sure you are having the message at index page also to check that. So let's get back to your authentication code. If you don't understand what is redirect, that is nothing but a function which I have created to redirect the page. Okay, so let's get back. Done. And now let's test it. So we right now have a way@gmail.com data. Let's refresh, give away that gmail.com, and now I'm going to give a wrong password. So let's log in, invalid email ID or password. So let's give a correct email ID and password 78. Let's click login, and here you're logged in successfully. Done guys. And now let's click to login, and you are able to log in the page. So guys, now let's write the code. If you're logged in, so it should not be able to access this login page. Instead, you should redirect with the message you are already logged in, okay, on the home page. So let's get back, and on the login.php page, guys, over here we have to write the code. So let's go to the codes authentication.php. Let's go over here, and here is our code, right? So let's take this out. So I just want to access this auth variable in our login page, okay? So from here I want to access that $auth of object. I want to create a function called is logged in function, okay? So we will check with this function name. So let's copy this and go to our object of auth, that is to a login controller. Let's move to the login controller over here, and let's create a function, guys. So let's move below public function, the is logged in function, and over here let's check out with the if condition, else return false, okay? So over here, guys, you will check is set function if this session is set of what, your authentication. So this authenticated, if it is logged in only, you're going to check that is logged in or not. So let's verify 3 times, triple equal to true. If it is success, then you're going to show as directly, you're going to redirect, you're not going to call anywhere else also. So let's use redirect function. So yep, and you can show you are already logged in, okay? And I want to move back to index.php page. All set. So let's save this, and now, guys, let's see the output for that. So yep, let's copy this function and go to your is logged in. So now let's get back. Now, guys, I'm going to refresh. You can see you are already logged in. Let's go to login. You cannot move. So let's go to register. We can go, okay? So let's copy this code is logged in function and just paste that, and this is going to call from your authentication code.php file, okay? Your auth object of login controller. Refresh, you are already logged in. Done. So if you're already logged in, you just have to don't show this, instead you have to show something else also. So you can use this same code, or else you can just create a custom one. Let's move to navbar. You can directly check over here. Let's open PHP and close PHP, give a if condition, check with the is set function. So same code you're going to copy and paste over here. Let's move to our login controller and just copy this code. So yep, paste here, done, and give colon and open PHP and PHP tag and end if and give semicolon, okay? So this is how we are going to check if it is authenticated, then only you are going to show. Let's see what happens over here. Refresh. Okay, we should not show, right? So just add a else condition, PHP open else colon and tag, and you can show the name here you get, and instead of login, let's give a hashtag over here and show your full name. So PHP open tag and close tag, where you can tell, copy this, paste here, auth of user and the f name, okay? So what is this f name auth user? As you, if you remember just 5 minutes of video, we have set over here authenticated user, user f name, user l name, okay? So auth user f name. Let's go to a navbar.php, auth user of user L name, and let's concatenate. Done. Let's copy this and show the last name also. All set. So now guys, let's try to refresh and see the output. Perfect. So it's showing with y. Let's give L name, save, refresh. Perfect. Done guys. So we have successfully done with our login system in PHP using object oriented programming guys. And now guys, we will continue with the logout system. So we need a logout over here. So guys, you just need to go to get bootstrap and copy the drop down menu. So let's copy this and paste inside your name. So the name where you have showed it. All set. Let's Control X and paste here. Let me just remove this, and yep, let's remove all this. And here in a form, method is equal to post and a button that will be log out. Set type is equal to submit, and name will be log out button. Okay, all set. And just design this button using, instead we are going to copy this item. So make it as drop down item, and this will be your something called my profile, so which will be seeing in further videos. So yep, no action over here. And if you click on this, let's go to our all the pages. You need to include your action code.php, I mean authentication code.php. So let's copy from the logout, I mean login page, and paste here. So copied and paste. Now let's get back, refresh. So you can see that logout button appears over here. Yep. So whenever you click your navbar, let's go to authcode.php and write the code. So you can just follow up over here. If where is set function $_post method of your log out. So let me just copy from the navbar, copy the button name and paste here. And now we want to log out all things. So now let's create one variable called as checked logged out, okay, is equal to where you're going to check with the auth of log out. Okay, so we'll create a logout function in your login controller of auth. So let's copy this and go back to your login controller and create a function. So public function with the function name logout, open and close, where you are going to unset your session values. So let's call unset function, where you will check the your authenticated unset, copy and paste, and your authenticated user details. So these two variables we are set right, so that only we are going to unset it, as simple. So before unsetting, you need to check it is already there or not. So you can just confirm from here. So let me copy this, let's paste here, and in the else also you can return false. So you can just follow up in this way. All set guys. So if it authenticated is true, then only you're going to unset that, and then you're going to return true. Here you'll return to true. So let's get back to your authentication code, and here you can just tell if it is true, which is successfully set, then you can redirect back. So let me just copy this redirect code from below, and you can tell logged out successfully, and you can go to login.php page. And then guys, now let's check the output. Refresh. Now let's click logout, and here your message logged out successfully. Okay, let's log in once again with at gmail.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Log in and try to access login.php. Here you go, you are already logged in. So guys, we have successfully completed how to make our login and logout system in PHP object-oriented programming language. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and let's continue next video with the new topic of object-oriented series in PHP. So thank you once again guys. Please subscribe, like and share.